Doing well. Sorry, I should have had this already all adjusted before. Hold on. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Thursday. I am currently in St. Martin. Just got back on the ship. Thought I would go live for a little bit because, guys, this has just been a busy cruise. I haven't had a moment to go live or really do much of anything. And we are actually in port today till 10 p.m. So I was going to stay off and do some things, but we got some other things going on the ship tonight. So just thought I would pop in, kind of give you, I guess, mid towards the end of the cruise update on how things have been going, as well as tell you about my day in St. Martin and what happened yesterday in Nevis. And I forgot where I was the day before. I think Martinique. Welcome in, Michelle. Appreciate you being here. Can you hear me okay? I have my microphone on, so hopefully. I have neighbors that have, like, literally, I think they live on their balconies. So it's like I can't ever go on my balcony and go live or do anything because I don't want to disrupt them. So I figured putting my mic on, at least I'm not loud in the cabin. So hope you guys can hear me. Let's see. But welcome and thank you so much. Thanks for letting me know, Michelle. So yeah, so it is day 6 on board Azamara Cruises, and if you're just now tuning in, I have been sailing on Azamara for the last 6 days. Picked this up in Barbados, and if you're not familiar with Azamara, Azamara is a boutique premium line. They have 4 ships that cruise all over the world. They are only in the Caribbean right now for about 5 weeks. Actually, this is the end of their Caribbean season, so they're only in the Caribbean for a short time each year, and they're like bouncing all over the world. So I wanted to hop on board to check them out, and I can tell you so far, I am really loving them. No issues really. So it's been amazing. So I'll kind of talk about that. But if you have questions about Azamara, feel free to drop those in the comments. And as you come in, if you could hit that like button and let me know that you're here. I don't know what the reception is doing either. We're currently in St. Martin, and there are 6 ships in port. I don't even know if I realized St. Martin could hold that many ships. And we have large ships. We have Celebrity XL in port. We have Star of the Seas in port. We have Sky Princess, Celebrity Ascent, Celebrity XL, Sky Princess, Star of the Seas, um, this Windjammer ship beside me, and then when Azamara. So lots of ships in port today. I didn't realize they held this many ships. I don't know what my reception is doing today. Welcome in, Will D. Appreciate you being here. So yeah, so just got back on board from St. Martin. Had a beautiful day, beautiful day. And I was going to make this a double excursion or double video day. I was going to go back out, catch the water taxi across, and just kind of show you what that's like. But our tour was 6.5 hours long. Yeah, about 6.5 hours long. We started at 9 a.m. and got back around 3:30, and it was just a wonderful tour. And it was actually one of the more inexpensive tours. And I'm gonna make a post either tonight or tomorrow, kind of sharing the information for the company. And I'm already booking them again for next year. The name of the company is Presidential Tours, and it was $60. 6.5 hours, you really can't beat it. The tour guides named Jamal and, oh my gosh, it'll come to me. It'll come to me. I've been saying it all this time in my videos, but oh my gosh, it'll come back to me. We had too much rum punch. They had a lot of rum punch on board, but so it was kind of cool because they took us all around. We were able to go to the Dutch side, the French side. We spent time at Orient Beach, then made our way. Where else did we go? To Marigot, which is like the downtown area where there's shops. I had lunch, a delicious lunch. I just posted that. And then we made our way over to Maho Beach, which to me is highly overrated. Went to Maho Beach. That's where you're going to catch the airplanes coming over. Guys, when I tell you there are like thousands of people there today and it's a small beach, it was insane. But took us there. We were able to spend some time there. Went to a cheese shop, a rum distillery. So it was a wonderful, wonderful day. And it's definitely a tour that I would recommend for anyone going to St. Martin, maybe St. Martin for the first time, and you want to get a feel for the island. Welcome in, Queen Honey Bear. Appreciate you being here. Says, I'm very happy to see you. I love your outfit. Thank you. This is actually really old. It's like a cover up. It's from Shein, but it's really old. So yeah, so that's today, St. Martin. Now we are in dock today until 10 p.m. I mentioned before that part of Azamara is that they have destination immersion. That is what they're known for. And so they bring a lot of the food, local foods on board. And funny because I had snapper for lunch today. They're actually having snapper for dinner from St. Martin. So they bring local foods, local goods on board and prepare that for dinner. But tonight we also have a group coming on board called the Soul Sisters, and they're going to be singing some soul, some Motown, all of that. So there's 2 show times for that, and they're going to do it out on the pool deck. And that's part of the culture immersion. It's called As Amazing Nights. And most cruises will have at least one As Amazing Night where either you're going to get off the ship and do something in port locally. They're going to bus you wherever they need to take you to, or sometimes they'll bring people on board. So, but welcome in to everyone. I know this is kind of a midday. I don't even know what time it is. It's 4:14 here, so I guess 3:14 where most of you guys are probably. So I just wanted to pop in real quick. I'm not really talking about much of anything. But yesterday, if you guys follow me on social media, I posted about my day in Nevis, which did not happen. I want to explain to you kind of what happened with that. And I need to check to see if my refund's coming through. But long story short is I booked a third-party tour. It was one of those things, probably part of it was my fault. In hindsight, did not consider the fact that we were the only ship there, and that with this being a smaller ship, an older clientele, most people for the most part are booking the ship's excursions. You know, I just like to do I try to stay away from the ship excursions because one, they're more expensive. Two, they're usually jam-packed and they don't go to some of the local spots or places that you might get to by having a local tour guide. And so I booked a tour, and it's actually a tour that I've highlighted before, but in St. Kitts. So they have the same tour company in St. Kitts and then the same one in Nevis. And so I booked it. It's been booked for a couple of months, I guess. And we had been in communication about the tour. And then literally once I got to the dock, met up with one of the tour guides, and he told me that the van that he didn't have room for me, because he had to accommodate the people from the ship first. So apparently one of the ship excursions, which ironically, I think for my tour, I paid like 100 and maybe 109, I think. For my tour, the ship tour was like 189. And so ironically, I would have been on that same bus with the same people from the ship had they had room. So when I got there, they were like, we don't have room for you. If someone doesn't show up, we'll put you on the van. So I'm like, well, I didn't know that's how that worked. And he said, well, yeah, because they booked through the ship, we have to guarantee them a spot. And I'm like, well, I've never heard of that. So I just kind of, waited. Then he came over to me and he said, no, we don't have room. But here, I have this taxi driver who's going to take you around. He's going to give you a tour of the island and pretty much like take you wherever the bus is taking this group of people. And I'm like, absolutely not. There's no way that I'm just going to get in. And I asked him, I said, now, is this taxi driver part? And the taxi driver didn't speak English very well. I said, is he part of the company? And he said, well, yeah, kind of, sort of. I said, well, can I see his badge? He didn't have a badge. He had a taxi driver badge, but he didn't have a badge for the company. So I said, no, I don't feel comfortable with that. So long story short, the owner of the company, who I had been in communication with, kind of ghosted me all day yesterday. And I got to the point where I was going to write a bad review because he just completely ghosted me. Well, come to find out, it sounds like the tour provider told him a different story. Like told him that I got there, refused to get on the bus, whatever. So after I played back audio to him of what the guy was telling me, because he left some voice notes on my phone, he was like, okay, I'm going to refund you your money. So long story short, but I wound up staying on board. Can you guys still hear and see me? I feel like I'm just rambling. So that's what happened in Nevis. And I was originally going to just kind of walk the port area, but if you've ever been there, I don't go to many places where I say I feel uncomfortable and it feels sketchy, but it felt kind of uncomfortable and kind of sketchy for me. And I don't know if that was because I was kind of already on 10 because of the situation that happened or whatever. But once I walked out of the gates, I kind of did a loop around one block and I'm like, I'm not really feeling this. Didn't really feel comfortable, just got back on the ship and I made it a sea day. So that was Nevis. Disappointed because I really, really wanted to experience Nevis, and I had a snorkeling tour as part of the tour. So, but things happen. Now I know that when I plan and work and book these types of cruises, that I need to be sure that there's other ships in port. That way there's a greater chance of those third-party tours actually happening. Day prior, Martinique. I posted a video about, thank you so much, Adrian. I appreciate that. Welcome in. I did a video about Martinique where we were originally supposed to go to St. Kitts, and I had a double excursion day in St. Kitts, two different excursions, one through the ship, one without the ship. And I did it that way because I was doing the third party tour in the morning and then Azamara's tour in the evening, because I don't like to take evening third party tours just, because. Welcome in, DeAndre. Appreciate you being here. Happy Thursday to you. We're just talking about Azamara, talking about these ports that I've been visiting currently in St. Martin. But yeah, Martinique, I really had no clue what I was going to do. I was in Martinique in January when I was on board MSC Virtuosa. If you guys remember, I picked up the ship in Martinique for a 7-night cruise. It was a wonderful cruise, but didn't know what I was going to do in Martinique either. There weren't any tour providers available. I kind of thought maybe there would be, but because we were routed there, I guess it was last minute. It was like within 48 hours. The tour providers just weren't available. So I thought once I got to the pier, there would be someone. There was no one, like literally no tours, nothing. So kind of walked the port area a little bit. Then I saw the ferry and started doing some research, last minute research, and found out that you can take a ferry over to, I think it's Point du Bout, which was about a 15-minute ride over. Gorgeous, gorgeous beaches, secluded area. And I spent probably a good 4 hours over there at the beach, just resting, chilling in the water. It was perfect. So low key, very cheap day just to get off and do something in Martinique. The day before, I don't remember where I was. So just to kind of give you that rundown, but couple of things that have happened on the ship. I posted about, and guys, if you have questions, I know most of you guys are probably working, so this is probably not the best time to go live, but I wanted to go live now because I won't go live tomorrow because tomorrow is a long port day. We're in Tortola, and I'm actually working with Shore Excursions Group for that tour. And I think they're snorkeling with sea turtles and the baths, and so it's a really long tour. I think it's like 8-hour tour tomorrow. So I know I won't be going live and then have to come back and pack and this and that. But tonight, again, we have the cultural immersion on board. So I don't have much time to be here because I want to get to the 6:15 show with Soul Sisters coming from St. Martin. But let me know if you have any questions. Welcome in, Miss Tiffy PD. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. White Night. I posted, welcome in, Adina. Thanks for being here. I posted a video about White Night. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But I posted a video about White Night, and I want to kind of talk to you about how White Night works for Azamara. And my understanding is, because some people sent me messages to say that this is what cruising was like years ago, like probably before I was born, where they would have like on the main pool deck, some sort of theme night with the barbecue grills and music and this and that. Well, this is my first time experiencing this in 84 cruises. And so I was like, I really have to share. This is amazing. Welcome in, Maria. Appreciate you being here. And Light of Shave, welcome in. Hello to you. The White Night was amazing. That was probably the thing that I was most looking forward to on Azamara, because that was the thing that I kept seeing when I was doing a little bit of research about them, was you have to go to White Night, go to White Night. And so ironically, welcome in, Elif McKinley. Appreciate you being here. It says White Night seemed a whole mood, great looking food. Yeah, it was amazing. So ironically, a lot of times when I'm on these ships and I'm not sponsored or hosted, they don't know I'm here, I try to be as discreet as possible. Well, apparently, one of the maitre d's actually watches me, like literally has watched lots of my videos and vlogs. So by day 2, word got out that I was on board. And so the crew, everyone has just been amazing. And so I had a front row seat right there for White Night. And it was just wonderful. It was just wonderful. And I was nervous because normally when I go to White Night, I don't dress in all white. I don't like to wear all white. And so I was telling Ron, I said, I gotta wear all white, like, because the videos that I've seen, people aren't messing it up. They're not coming with, some white and, a hint of white or a pop of white. Everyone's in all white. So I just had like some shorts or capris and a white top or whatever. It was decked out. I mean, they had white tablecloths. They had light string across the deck. and it went on. It was like 4 hours. So it was like from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. 6 p.m. started dinner. I thought I was early getting to the table by getting there at 5:30 because I knew I wanted to get a good spot. They had already had a spot for me. Um, but I got there at 5:30. It was already full. Like people already knew what to do and where to go. So as I sat there, I kind of watched them grilling the food and making the food and prepping everything. It was just wonderful. And they had all kinds of food, like I mean, so many different nationalities represented for that meal. But then they had like just like grilled lamb and lobster. They had sushi. They had shawarma. They had everything. And then they had a dessert station where a couple of the officers they were making crepe Suzette. So it was wonderful. Then they had the entertainers on board to like do these little pockets of performances and singing and dancing. There's like no like DJ music. It was live music the whole night. And people were out dancing, having a good time. So it was really nice to just sit back and enjoy that and people watch. So I will rank Azamara's White Night as the best white night at sea. MSC has always held that for me because MSC does a really nice white party, but it's different. Theirs is just dancing. It's just a party. This is a little more than a party. Welcome in, Brenda. Appreciate you being here from Georgia. Miss Well Blessed, welcome in, welcome in. Sydney, welcome in, says, hi, RacQuelle and Chad. Yes, that white party looked amazing. It was. It was. But with the video that I posted, I did get some comments, and I had to delete a couple. Of course, people see that, you're on a ship, and yes, the ship is not very diverse. Um, but I think it's up to us to change that narrative. I feel like it kind of saddens me sometimes when I cruise and sometimes when I'm on certain lines, that's always brought up. I won't be the one to bring that up unless you're asking, but I'm always honest about what the demographic is because I know that some people care to cruise where they're a majority or care to cruise where they feel there's going to be more people like them. I can tell you that there is a mix of nationalities on board. They said there are 23 represented on board, but most of everyone here is from the UK. And so with the video that I posted, there were some comments about, oh yeah, clearly it's all white party. No, there were other people there, but maybe we just weren't front and center. So I don't know. I just get kind of, I hate when people make those types of comments and make things about race because it really wasn't about race. My post wasn't about race. It was about people having a good time. And I was one of those people out there having a good time. And didn't matter whether it was on another ship that did the same thing with, all types of races represented. For me, just the way it was set up was a great time. So I had to delete some comments, and I got a couple of private messages about the White Night Party, and some people thought it was racist, and I'm like, how is me posting this video showing people have a good time racist? Get on board. Like if you feel like these cruise lines aren't representing, or you feel like there's not enough of us on board, then get on board. That's just the bottom line. So let me just say my little spill right now, but and I got the same thing with like Explore Journeys, same thing. There's not a lot of us on board. Well, why is that? Why aren't we on board? Because we can be. We absolutely can be, and there are several of us, many of us on board. But we all kind of travel differently. You know what I'm saying? So it just bothers me whenever I'm, and you gotta also keep in mind, my clientele, like I do what I do to share with people, all people, not just a certain pocket of people or a certain race of people. I'm sharing with everyone. My clients are represented everywhere. So it's like, I'm not cruising one particular cruise line because I see more of myself there. Same thing with Crystal Cruises. I got so many comments about Crystal Cruises, and I was one to tell you, I think there was 5 of us on board. That was it. That's about what I saw. Was it a problem for me? No. Will it be a problem for some? Yes, and that's fine. But please don't come on my post saying something's racist or they don't care about us or they whatever the case might be, because that's really just not, it's not it. All right, let me stop. Because I get real, people will see a different side of me when they start. And when people make those types of comments, I just block because I don't have time for that negativity. Welcome in Team Reese Travels. Appreciate you being here. And thank you so much for all of our channel members who are watching. I appreciate you guys being here. And for those of you who are new here, if you wouldn't mind subscribing and hitting that like button for me, I'd appreciate it. This is cruise number 84, and I have one more to go for this year. One more. This is my 21st cruise this year. And we have MSC World America coming up in 2 weeks. 2 weeks? Exactly. Almost 2 weeks. Exactly. Um, Sydney says Target. Yeah, for sure. Elf McKinley says that is weird to me. Wow. Oh yeah, yeah. And I try to remove those comments before, because sometimes what happens is, like, especially like on Facebook, the way the algorithm works, it's almost like when people start making those types of comments, it almost changes the trajectory of where that video is going. And now more people are starting to make those same comments. So anytime I start seeing that, I try to delete it immediately, and I block those people because I don't have time for that. Trisha says, I'm going on the Firenze in 2 weeks. I love your show. Thank you for calling it a show. I appreciate that. I like Firenze as well. Hope you have a good time. Sydney says, don't get that. Unfortunately, they thought that exactly. We can book wherever, just like everybody else. Absolutely. And I don't know why we don't. Um, I get it. Sometimes it's a price factor. Sometimes it's a shock factor. But I think, and again, it's not going to be for everyone. I truly get that, some people just don't want to be, but just don't talk so negatively about it. Because it doesn't work for you doesn't mean it's not going to work for me or work for the other people that are on board. And just because a cruise line or a cruise ship has this demographic for this sailing does not mean, remember, Azamara cruises all over the world. So it could be very regional, where, why when you're on a certain ship, a certain time frame, why it is what it is at that point doesn't mean it's always like that. And again, if we are concerned with the fact that some cruise ships or cruise lines aren't as diverse, we have to change that narrative. And hopefully me posting these videos, and hopefully me, because I've had a lot of people reach out, asking questions, hopefully that gets more people on board. Nikki Garner, welcome, says, exactly, thank you for mentioning this. Absolutely. Welcome in. Gay Nell says, good afternoon. White Knight looked fantastic. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. That's what life is about. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm going to enjoy myself tonight too with the Soul Sisters. It's called An Evening with the Soul Sisters. And they're from St. Martin, and grew up from St. Martin. And it's Motown themed. So you guys know Motown is right up my alley. So excited for that. And then the steel drum. I think when I went live, was it day 2 of the cruise? We had a steel drum orchestra, not just steel drummers, steel drum orchestra come in from St. Lucia. They were amazing, like amazing. I stayed for the whole show. It was a whole hour, and they literally, you know, did their thing for a solid hour, and it was amazing. So I'll have that highlighted in the video. Welcome in, Miss Kells. Appreciate you being here. Good afternoon. Team Reese's Soul Sisters sounds fun. Yeah. And again, they have 2 shows. They have 6:15 and 8:15. I think I'm going to go to the 6:15. That way I can go to that, eat, and then I have some work to catch up on. It's one of those things where when you have these port intensive, ports, it's kind of hard to keep up with work and I haven't edited, I haven't done anything. So I'm like, maybe I'll go to the early show and then, just park it in the cabin for a little bit, get some work done, because I'll be getting off the ship on Saturday, heading back home. And yeah, I just got to keep up with things. But some other things? Let me see. Let me talk about the food. I'll be very honest, and you'll see this in the vlogs. The food has been very hit or miss on this ship. Yeah, very hit or miss. There's been some things that have been absolutely delicious, and there have been some things like, no, that's not working. What I do like is that with the cultural immersion, they, again, like right now we're in St. Martin. The chefs are off the ship getting local produce, local fish, this and that, and that's what they're preparing for dinner tonight. So I love that. For every meal at the buffet, they will have at least one destination dish. And then for dinner, they have a whole menu of it. So like today, for breakfast, they had something called, is it doubles or is it doubles? It says it's a popular Caribbean street food consisting of 2 soft fried flatbreads called bara, filled with curried chickpeas, often topped with chutneys and pepper sauce. So they had that for breakfast. I missed that. Then lunch, they had roti, which is curried meat in a flatbread. And it's funny because we pass a lot of roti restaurants coming back. So, and then for dinner, they're going to have jerk chicken. So every meal they have something. But I will say that I think the main dining room is better than specialty dining. I dined at the steakhouse one night, really wasn't a fan. It just was not seasoned. Went to the Italian restaurant, forgot the name of it, last night. It was good. That was actually good. I had risotto with some garlic shrimp. That was delicious. But it's just hit or miss. Because it's a small ship, the buffet is small. I initially thought that that was going to be a problem as far as the flow of traffic, but it's really not. The first night, I think everyone pretty much dined, or not everyone, a lot of people decided to dine in the buffet instead of going to the main dining room because, you're just getting on board or what have you. So it felt a little crowded trying to get through the little area, but it has not been an issue at all since. So it's really not an issue. But because it is a smaller buffet, they don't have a lot of options. All right, can you hear me now? Turn my mic off. Sometimes this thing doesn't work well. Let me know if you can hear me now. You can hear me now. Okay, good, good. So what I was saying is, they have a spot called the patio, which is al fresco dining, and it's everything's complimentary on board, except for the specialty dining. But they have like chicken strips, burgers, hot dogs, all kinds of things. And I said that they have a really, really good hot dog. And I'm not much of a hot dog lover, especially not on cruise ships, because a lot of times those hot dogs are pink or they look raw. I like char to mine, and they actually char theirs, which was really nice. So I had a really nice hot dog the other day. So that spot is generally pretty good. And that's open for like a late breakfast, and then for lunch, and then also for dinner. So that's another spot you can go in. But I would say overall, rating the food, I would probably rate the food like a 7 out of 10 overall. There were some really, really nice things. There wasn't anything that was like repulsive. When I say it's not good, it just means that it just wasn't seasoned, or maybe it had a weird something to it, texture or something like that. But there wasn't anything that was repulsive. It's just not, it's like, some of it's good, some of it's not. So, and that's expected a lot of times with cruise lines. Sometimes things are good, sometimes they're not. T. Marie said it looks like you said something good though. Probably talking about them raw hot dogs. I cannot do a pink hot dog. Welcome in, Desiree, and welcome into everybody that's watching. If you guys don't mind hitting that like button for me, I'd appreciate it. And shout out to all of our channel members. Yeah, I was just talking about how the food is kind of hit or miss. Hold on, going back, I missed a couple comments. Carla says, I love your videos. I will be on Explore 2 April 2026, and I'm looking forward to it. Awesome, awesome. Hope you have a great time. When in April are you going to be on Explore 2? Because I'll be on Explore 2 in April as well. Let me know when you're going to be on board. Are you part of SIG's group? If you're part of SIG's group, I'll be on board. Dr. Jesso, welcome in, says, I'm a new subscriber and appreciate your content. Thanks for posting the Explorer video. Love the accommodations and service. Absolutely. And if you decide to book Explorer journeys or want to plan it, feel free to reach out. I'd love to help you. Grandma Teddy says, I love the cultural immersion. Is there a lot to do on the ship? Sorry, y'all. I had too much rum today, so my mouth is like dry. So that's the thing. This cruise line is not going to be for someone that wants a lot to do on the ship. There's not a lot. There's no casino. There's no kids clubs. The only gambling that they did, they had one night of bingo, and it was like win a cruise bingo. But there's really no gambling. There's no game shows. They did do a bingo that was like a music trivia bingo, and it was a lot of fun. And it went real fast. It was real fast paced. That was a lot of fun. But just to kind of give you, I'm going to kind of just read through some of these activities. This is pretty much everything that happens in a day. And if you know other cruise lines, if you're scrolling on the app, you're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. There's a ton of things. This is literally from the morning till the end of the night. Everything's here. There's no app. So everything is on this one sheet every day so you know what's happening. So I'm just going to quickly read through so you have an idea, and I'll post pictures of these so you have an idea of what to expect. So this is not a cruise ship that focuses on the ship. The focus is on the destinations. That's what they focus on, period. It's about being in port, spending time in port, doing things in port, bringing people, locals on board the ship. That's really what it's about. So just to kind of give you an idea. So in the morning, they started off with the daily show, which is every cruise line has some sort of daily show where the cruise director talks about what's happening, the ports you're going to, what have you. Then in the fitness center, they had morning stretch, they had morning Pilates, and then at the spa, they had IV infusions, which I don't really know what that is. Fitness center also had a health seminar at 11 a.m. 12 o'clock, they had some sort of hair consultations at the spa. 1 o'clock, they had posture analysis. That's all they had in the morning. So you're not going to find like meetups on board. You're not going to find things happening on the pool deck, dance parties, none of that, because they're expecting you to be off the ship doing things. Now, a lot of people didn't get off. A lot of people will stay on, enjoy the jacuzzi, enjoy the deck, just rest. My two neighbors have literally like lived on their balconies. Like I have not gone on my balcony because I feel like when I go out on my balcony, I'm normally like editing or I'm talking and I don't want to disrupt them, but they've like lived on their balconies, like always out there. So that's it. That's all they had in the morning. Now in the afternoon, now that people are back on board, they're doing a seminar for swollen ankles. And that's funny. And then at 3 o'clock, they're doing a ring toss on the pool deck. 4 o'clock, they're doing a Friends of Bill, which is Alcoholics Anonymous. 4 o'clock, they're doing a pub quiz. 4:30, they're doing music trivia. 5 o'clock, walk-in acupuncture clinic. And then 5:30 is kind of when the entertainment starts. So they'll have ballroom dancing and more with the Quest band, which they are amazing. Then they have an area called the Den, and they have a pianist there right before dinner that's performing. They do have a solo travelers social meetup every single day. They have an LGBTQIA plus get together every day, and another one. And then tonight we have a night with Soul Sisters and then a steel band that's coming to perform before they start. After the Soul Sisters leave, in the living room, which is another lounge on board, they're going to have the jazz band, and then the pianist playing late night. And at 10 p.m., there's something special going on. I'll dance the night away with Tavo, who's one of the entertainment directors. And that is it. So again, it's about the destination. It's not about what's happening on the ship. They will have entertainment more so in the evening. There's really nothing going on during the day because they're expecting people to be off in port. So I will post pictures because I've been saving these. I'm going to just post pictures because each day is kind of different. They'll have different things. But they have a show pretty much every night at 9. And then people leave from the show. So the way it works is usually before dinner, there's a pianist at the Den. So this ship is small, so that it's like a home. So you have the Den, you have the living room, and you have the drawing room, which I guess drawing room is fancy for like library. It's like real fancy. And so people like literally move from the Den with the pianist in the morning. Then they make their way to like the main dining room. There's bars outside like the main dining room and specialty dining. They'll have a cocktail drink and then go to dinner. After dinner, people meet up at 9 o'clock to go to the show. There's one show every night. There's not two, one show. And people go, they have bar service there. People go to the show. After that, they move from the, what is it called? They move from, what is it called? I forgot what the theater's called. They moved from the theater back to the living room where there's going to be live music, karaoke or something like. They do karaoke. So that's it. Not a whole lot. But again, it's about the ports. Welcome in, Gregory. Appreciate that. Bringing locals on board is very different to me. Yes. Yes. And I absolutely love that they support the locals and bring them on board. You know, they're getting paid to come on board. The fact that they're out shopping for their produce and fish and, you know, meats and things, bringing them on board for us to try, recreating their recipes. And I was kind of leery when they were like, yeah, you know, cultural, because you know, you can have a recipe, but it not be what it's supposed to be. But everything that I've tried that I've had previously, authentically from wherever I've been, has been on point. So, yeah, no complaints there. Miss Kell says I need to be in that similar. I laugh for a reason because I'm looking at my ankles and my ankle is swollen right now. That's why I was laughing. So, HB5, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions about Azamara. I have about another 15 minutes that I need to take a quick shower and then head to the pool deck to get ready for this performance. It's been a wonderful time. I truly have no complaints. The crew has been amazing. Like I said, I think they kind of put a all call out there that I was on board after I was spotted. And it was funny because the crew member that recognized me, I was thinking, you know, he just saw me because I had, you know, my phone and he saw me filming. But no, he was actually able to go back and say, I saw when you did this and you did this on your video. And I'm like, oh, you really watched me. He was like, yes. And he said, and I just saw you were on Crystal Cruises and now you're here. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here. So the crew, it's like wherever I go, they call me by name. They call a lot of guests by name, but I think it's probably easier to recognize and remember me because I'm different. I mean, there's other people like me on board, but not many. So it's just been, the crew has been amazing. The drinks have been great. I talked about drinks before. Drinks are included with your cruise fare to an extent. There is a specific menu for the free drinks, but you get unlimited specialty coffees, sodas, juice, bottled waters. Guys, they have like coolers of water as you're leaving the gangway just for you to grab waters. Like every other cruise line, take your card out, scan it. You gotta, you know, they have the towels out. So you just, when I get off port, I grab 2 or 3 bottles of water. I'm good. But yeah, you get like your basic drinks. And for me, the basic drinks menu has plenty. You're getting probably, I don't know, maybe 20 different cocktails, plus your basic liquors there. If you need something premium, then you can upgrade, but the upgrades were like $30 or so per person per day. And when you're in port, like, I don't know who can sit around drinking and get off in port and have a good time. So I like that what's included is included. So drinks have been great. They've been really, really strong. And the bartenders get to know you so quickly that they know, they already know what you're going to order. So that's really nice. And that's the nice thing about being on a small ship. And I really think it was funny this morning because we're in port right now in St. Martin, and there's 6 ships. We have Celebrity Ascent, Celebrity XL, Star of the Seas, Sky Princess, this little Windjammer ship in front of me, and then my ship. As I was walking, and I wish I had my camera rolling, as I was walking across the deck, keep in mind a lot of people from the UK, there was a group at the window. They were looking at Star of the Seas pulling, and the lady was like, that's a monstrosity. And it was the funniest thing. It was the funniest thing. But then I started thinking, and I'm like, I guess if you're used to this size ship, that's exactly what that seems like. But it was just the cutest way she said it. And in my mind, I'm like, I've been on those ships. I've been on Star of the Seas. But I am really falling in love with these smaller ships because it's so intimate. You get to know the people. You get to know the crew. Guys, I'm literally taking the stairs everywhere because I'm literally in the middle of the ship. There's only 5 decks. So, I mean, I'm right in the middle. So I'm up and down, just 2 and then down. So yeah, lots of big ships in port. We're like the smallest one besides the Windjammer beside me. And so I was like, yeah, you know what? If you're used to the smaller ships, when you see Star of the Seas pulling it, it is quite a monstrosity. But just the way she said it was like, I was so tickled by that. But what else was I going to say? So yeah, so if you're someone that has been cruising, the larger cruise line, I say give this a try, especially if you're somebody that just likes to relax. Yeah, cozy and quaint. If you like cozy and quaint, and this will be for you. And me, I don't need a big show. I don't need a big production. I don't need a bunch of people. I mean, I'm an introvert. I am fine. People on board have been nice. I have not ran into one rude person, and that's always asked. I actually received questions about that since I've been on board. People have sent me direct messages. Are the people kind to you? Are the people nice? Like, why would they not be? Why would they not be? Why do we assume that because I'm on a ship that's predominantly white, that they're not nice? I just don't get it. Like, I have not come across any. In fact, I have some dinner mates that are now clients. So, I mean, people have been amazing, just amazing on board. So, no complaints there. Welcome in, welcome in. Let's see here. Elisa, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. On the Go with Yellow says small can be cozy and friendly. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But again, it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. All right. What else? What else? What else? So yeah, tomorrow's Tortola. I'm working with Shore Excursions Group for this tour. I can't even remember, but I know it's taking me to the baths, and I think there's some snorkeling with sea turtles, I think. So after Tortola, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. This cruise has gone so quickly, and that's the thing for me. It's like, I don't need the sea days. I know people like to cruise for different reasons. For me, I like to cruise for the adventure. If I'm going to rest, I can rest comfortably at home. And so I haven't really had much rest. I do sleep well at night. The bed is extremely comfortable. The ship has been a little rocky. So that also lulls me to sleep. But I don't think it's because of stabilizers. I think we're just experiencing some weather here in the Caribbean right now. What else? Yeah, let me know if you have any last minute questions. But yeah, if you are looking to plan Azamara, someone mentioned Africa. They go to Africa. They're all over the place. Reach out to me. I'd love to help you figure out something out. But do keep in mind that their itineraries are longer. This 7-night cruise is rare. They do have 7-night cruises in the Caribbean, but like I said, they've literally only been in the Caribbean 5 weeks, and that's all they're going to be in the Caribbean for. So if you start looking at 2026, same case. You're going to see like a 5-week window of them in the Caribbean, and they're gone. So that's just how they operate. They're not home ported anywhere. They're just moving about. Very similar to Crystal Cruises. I mentioned the same thing when I was on Crystal. Is there a gym on the ship? Yes, there is a gym, and there is a full spa. So the spa, they have massages. They're constantly giving us information on specials they're running. But there is a nice sized gym. And I did find out that there is a jacuzzi for the spa. I actually ran into it by accident, just kind of walking around. There is, but you need a day pass for that. Or if you're getting treatment, I think you get access to that before or after your treatment. But yeah, there is a gym. On the Go Yellow says, I would like to do the baths next time I'm in Tortola. Yes, I loved Tortola when I was here in January. I was in Tortola in January. Absolutely loved it. Amazing views. I forgot where I went. I went to that one beach, very popular beach. I can't think of the name of it. Sugarloaf? I can't remember. But it was a nice time. What is the dress code like? Very relaxed. It's not, so for dinner, people tend to be, it's not formal. They don't have like formal nights. They just have the one white night. I'm literally just like in a dress. So the men tend to wear, nice pants. You can even wear jeans. They don't have a rule saying you can't wear jeans. So for dinner, pretty much just like no flip-flops, no bathing suits, like other cruise lines, but they do dress a little more, I don't want to say elevated. I don't like that word for this context, but it's a little bit more, I guess, more khakis and collared shirts for dinner. No one's like in tuxedos or, suits and things like that. Everyone's kind of, I'm just like in like a regular sundress and a sweater or something. So pretty simple. In fact, it was just so simple to pack for this cruise, because literally I just went and said, okay, 7 bathing suits, done. 7 cover-ups, done. 7 dresses for the evening, done. And it was so easy because there's like a lot of times you're planning for other activities that might happen on the ship. And so you're trying to figure out what might I need to wear if I'm going to do this or do that. For this, I knew I was going to be off in the ship. I was going to be off the ship for the day. So bathing suit cover up like this. I'm going to shower. I'm putting on, you know, a dress for the dinner, and then I'm putting on my nightgown. I'm good. And there is self-service laundry, which I did take advantage of, only because I don't like going. Ron takes care of all my laundry and everything, but I don't like going home with everything dirty for this reason. If you have a flight delay or cancellation, and I literally packed to the T, like I think I only had like one outfit as wiggle room. And so what happens is if you have a delay or cancellation, now you're stuck with a thing full of dirty clothes. Business casual, perfect. I can't think of the word. So I tried to at least have a couple of outfits clean for going back home. So I was able to wash, and it's actually right across from my cabin. That worked out perfectly. They even have laundry pods and everything for you. Yeah, khaki shorts have been fine. I haven't seen many shorts, but I have seen some guys in like nice shorts. And then if you're going to the buffet, there's like no dress code at all. Or if you go, because the outside dining is open for dinner as well. So yeah, there's no formal night. They just have the white night. That's the only theme night that they have. So no official formal night at all. Yes, business casual, perfect. I'm trying to think anything else. But yeah, it's nice having the laundry. If you had them do your laundry, it's not like Crystal. With Crystal, if you guys recall, my butler got on to me because I washed my own clothes. They don't wash your clothes on this ship, but they do have like a laundry package, which I thought they just put in today. Yeah, there's a laundry package somewhere. I have all these papers. There's a laundry package where you'll pay to have your laundry done, but there's no need if you have the laundry right here, and it's a nice laundry room. What else? Anything else about Azamara? They're not as expensive as you might think. Lisa says, see, you miss that butler now. Yeah. I mean, I had just started getting used to him right when it was time to get off the ship. So, what was his name? Raj. Yeah, yeah. But my cabin steward, his name is Nyoman. He's amazing. He's amazing. So he sees me coming down the hallway. He opens my door, and I told him, I said, you only need to come in here once per day. And so the first night he still came in and dropped papers off, and now he's intentional just to kind of put it in the door. And he's like, I'm not gonna go in there. I'm like, that's fine. You don't need to. So I keep things pretty tidy, but yeah, I would say, and it's so funny because when I'm on these tours, I'm talking to people and they're like, well, what ship are you on? I'm like, Azamara. People have not heard of this cruise line. And it just kind of blows me away. And that's probably why, when you look at the demographics, why it is the way it is. I don't know where Azamara comes from. Maybe it comes from the UK. Maybe that's why we have so many UK cruisers. I don't know, but I think once the word gets out there, there's going to probably be more people on board. And again, I think you're going to get on board for this ship for the itinerary. There are some quirks about the ship that I don't care for. One being the balconies. The balconies, I don't know if I showed you guys before, but I have a video. They're like glass doors separating the balconies, and they're like sheer, like frosted glass. So you can kind of somewhat see what's happening over there, but not quite see. I don't like that because I'm paranoid. Like I was sitting here working at the desk, and the mirrors right here, so I could see, the reflection of somebody on the other balcony. I'm not a fan of that. The showers, bathrooms, very small. I've gotten used to it. I've just learned to keep the shower curtain open when I shower. So I've gotten used to that. I think that's pretty much it. I'm not a fan of the balconies. I'm not a fan of the bathrooms. Bed's comfortable. The cabins are clean. The ship is beautiful. For its age, the ship is beautiful. There's no like area that I would say needs to be refurbished or any, and I don't know when this was last refurbished, but they are all older ships. So keep that in mind. If you're booking this, you're not booking it for the ship, you're booking it for the itinerary. All right, so what's up next? MSC World America. We have a group of about 60 people joining us on MSC World America for Christmas. So we'll be on board with a group here in about 2 weeks. So when I get home, I'm going to take about a week to just kind of rest and recoup. And then I have to help get the family packed, Dave from where he needs to be, get things going for this group cruise. This group cruise is going to be kind of relaxed, like a more laid back group cruise. Only because we do have within our group, we have a large pocket of another family group with us that I think is kind of doing their own thing. And then we have a lot of new cruisers that I think they're just going to want to explore and experience MSC World America. But we have a couple of group excursions planned for those who are interested, and we'll do a couple meetups, and we're doing dinners and things on board. So that'll be fun. Then after that, we get into the new year. I can tell you this, I will not be cruising as much in 2026. I will still have over, I think right now, I think I'm up to 15 cruises. It's not going to be 22 plus. I will hit my 100th cruise next year. But the beginning of the year will be kind of slower because that is also the busiest time for our travel agency. And last year I stressed myself out by being out at sea so many times during wave season, and I can't do that this year. So I'm going to kind of stay put a little bit so I can focus on the agency and not feel like I'm stretched between getting content and experiencing and exploring the ports and working and getting new clients and working with current clients and things like that. So it'll be kind of January, February. I think January I have a sail with me on board Scarlet Lady. So if you're interested in joining me on Scarlet Lady, we have a small group for a sail with me the 21st through the 25th. And then I think February, the only cruise I have is a Super Bowl cruise. So, Jay Savoy says, thank you for all your content. It is very informative and helpful. I appreciate that. Are there any new cruise ships in the making? Welcome in, Matthew. Are there any new cruise ships in the making? Legend of the Seas is currently being built. I don't think 2026 is going to be a year for a lot of new cruise ships. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Carnival has their festival that's going to come out in 2027. No Princess cruises are being built currently. No Holland America. No NCL. Oh no, NCL has Luna. NCL Luna will debut in April, I think. Celebrity doesn't have one. So yeah, there's a couple of ships, but this year there were a lot of ships that debuted. It's not going to be like that for 2026. I think 2027 is going to be the year for new cruise ships. All right, Shelly, it is 5 o'clock. I have to get out of here, take a shower so I can get a good spot for the Soul Sisters. Make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm going to try to get a vlog together if I can. From Carnival Conquest, actually our group cruise from July that I have not posted yet. I'm going to probably put all that together as one vlog because I was there on Conquest for a back-to-back for 2 different cruises. One to get content for Celebration Key, which I posted, and then we were on board for our group cruise. And I didn't vlog a lot during our group cruise, but I'm going to kind of put that together and hopefully have that out for Sunday. And then I will probably start rolling out the Azamara after that. Carla says, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your cruise. Thank you. Sammy, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. It says, love the shorts and the White Knight one. Looking forward to the vlogs. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been enjoying your content as well, guys. If you aren't following Savvy Voyages, Sammy is I don't want to say newer because I don't know how long you've been out, but she's really pushing some content out there right now. Also a fellow travel agent. So check her out if you are looking for someone new to follow to get some cruise information. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and take a shower and head up for Soul Sisters. It's gonna be a beautiful night, and I won't go live again. I think my next live will be on Monday for our Monday midday cruise Q&A. I think I have one scheduled. So stay tuned for that. And if you are new here, please consider following. I appreciate all of your love and support. Ken says, I promised myself that when I make it to that island, I'm going to visit the original Black Statue of Liberty. I did see it today. I have a picture of it and a video. Lightisha says, enjoy your night. Thank you. You guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday, the rest of your week, and I will see you guys on Monday for Monday Midday Cruise Q&A, and I'll be posting things on social media, so stay tuned. Appreciate you guys being here. Take care.